What's up, a Cinema Shogun here, and it's the moment we've all been waiting for. Tonight, at 8 p.m. on the Lifetime Network, the Gabby Petito movie premieres. Now, obviously, I'm being kind of sarcastic because I think the majority of people were kind of put off by the fact that they're already making a Gabby Petito movie, or that they're even making a Gabby Petito movie in general. But tonight, at 8 o'clock, it premieres. And I want to know, are any of you all planning on watching it? I'm not going to lie. I'm curious to see how bad it is. And as someone who was heavily invested in the Gabby Petito case, I'm kind of interested in seeing what they got right and what they got wrong. But at the same time, I don't want to support this because I know Gabby's family didn't sign off on this. And I think there's a bigger discussion to be had here about these true crime movies and TV shows. For example, the Dahmer TV show came out on Netflix about a week or so ago, and it's the #1 show in the world right now. Everyone's talking about it. And I gotta admit, I really enjoyed the show. And I understand people from both sides. I understand people who think it's in bad taste to make movies about topics like this. And I understand people who watch them, because I watch content like this sometimes. But like I said, I keep an open mind and I understand the situation from both angles. But when it comes to this Gabby Petito story, it's a little too soon, right? Like, we weren't even 6 or 7 months away from her passing away before they were already making this movie. We are a little over a year away from that whole situation, and the movie's already coming out tonight, and they've been working on it for months. So, I mean, that tells you, like, how quick people hop on this stuff. I mean, another example of something like this is the Tubi movie. The Johnny Depp and Amber Heard movie that just came out on Tubi about the trial. It's like, we're not even a year out from that trial and we already got a movie. Man, they are working on this stuff in record time. And it seems like they throw quality to the wind. Who cares about quality? Let's just make sure we get some content out there. But at the very least, I will say that this Gabby Petito movie looks like it's going to be a tad bit better than the Johnny Depp movie. But hey, who knows? I think I might watch both. I want to know from you all. Would you be interested in seeing a review? As some of you all know, I originally started this YouTube channel to actually review movies. I like reviewing movies. Would you all like for me to review this movie? Tell you what they got right and what they got wrong? If so, let me know down in the comments below, and I will upload a review for the Gabby Petito story either on this channel or on my movie review channel. But the actress who plays Gabby actually spoke out yesterday and had this to say. When I was presented with the opportunity to portray Gabby, I was admittedly quite overwhelmed, and it was a hard decision to make. It's a big responsibility to play someone who was alive. Oh, man. Oh, man. Let's just stop it right there. I'm sorry, does that not sound kind of like a ditzy thing to say? Like, what did Archie used to say on All in the Family? He used to call Edith a dingbat. That's like a dingbat thing to say. It's a big responsibility to play someone who was alive. What? As if actors and actresses don't always play people who are living or used to live or used to be alive. It just really is like, okay. It's almost like it's a big responsibility to play someone who's dead now. It's like, what? But it's kind of just, it kind of like threw me off there for a second. Let's get back to what she has to say. I also felt it was a chance to give Gabby a voice in her own story that I don't think the media did justice with. I think we as a consumer media came in at the tail end of a much more complicated story. And so Gabby's life is much more than the headlines that we read when all of these tragedies started to occur, and I just think she deserves better. I understand that that's the right thing to say in this situation, but man, how are you going to give Gabby a voice when you don't know anything about Gabby? And she talks about how, the media didn't do Gabby justice. As if a freaking thrown together $5 budget Lifetime movie is going to do Gabby justice. I don't care what anyone has to say about the entire Gabby situation. There's no denying the fact that Gabby got more media attention than I think any missing girl in probably the history of the world. I am not exaggerating. You can go look at the Google Analytics and how much her name was searched, how many news articles surrounded her name. Gabby was one of them, probably the most documented, most covered missing person possibly of all freaking time. I think the media did her justice. I mean, maybe there were some articles that people didn't like here and there, but for the most part, as someone who covered the story throughout the entirety of it, as someone who read almost every single article as it was coming out, I don't think they did a bad job. They spread a lot of awareness about Gabby. I think a lot of people did. I don't think the media ever painted Gabby in a bad light. I mean, if anything, I'm sure, and this is coming from someone who hates the mainstream media. We all know that. But I didn't think that the mainstream media necessarily did a bad job when it came to Gabby. If anything, they kind of over-reported on Gabby while ignoring other people who were missing. Yet, she's sitting here acting as if her Lifetime movie is going to do Gabby more justice. And she talks about how Gabby deserves better and this, that, and the third. But I'm like, y'all filmed this movie before, or started filming this movie before we even got all of the details. So how are you going to do Gabby justice when you didn't even wait for the story to end before you started filming this movie? I can guarantee you, and I don't know this actress, and I have nothing against this actress. She's doing her job. But I can guarantee you all that she knows less about the Gabby Petito case than the majority of you all watching this video. It's not like the director of this movie was some Gabby Petito aficionado who studied Gabby Petito his whole entire life. No, y'all started filming this movie literally before we even got like results back from Brian Laundrie's autopsy and stuff. So, I mean, there's no way that there's anyone involved on this movie that is like, that has access to some type of knowledge about Gabby that we don't. Now, if the filmmaker got the blessings of Gabby's loved ones, like her family, and maybe sat down and did interviews with Gabby's mother and her father and step-parents and people who knew Gabby, and was able to form a more clearer picture about who Gabby Petito was as a person, then that would be understandable. But we have to remember that no one in Gabby's family signed off on this. In fact, I think they spoke out against it. So it's not like they have the family's blessings. It's not like the family has told them anything. So they're working with the same information we have. And considering the fact that it's Hollywood, they're movie makers, blah, 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 they were so quick to make this movie, I can guarantee you all that they know less about this case than we do. So these comments, why I understand it's the right thing to say when you're asked questions and you're doing interviews about the movie, they really don't mean anything. And if anything, they're kind of out of touch with the reality of the situation. The actress goes on to say, "The world should know that she was a fighter and she was fierce. There's a lot more to her than initially displayed." How do you know that? I'm not saying Gabby wasn't fierce and Gabby wasn't a fighter. I mean, obviously there's way more to Gabby than we know because we don't know her personally. But neither do you. You're not privy to any inside information about Gabby. You're just doing the job that your director told you to do. So, I mean, I don't understand what you're getting at here. It's important to note that this story is not about what happened. It's about how it happened. This story aims to look at Gabby and Brian's relationship to the point that they got to, like, how did they end up alone in the woods that tragic evening? How did all of that happen? Because that's the part that wasn't talked about in all this media coverage of their disappearances and their deaths. And that's really what we're focused on. Furthering that point, Birch explains that the film is set within their time frame, adding that it's largely focused on their journey. It's a road trip romance that goes horribly wrong. Now, I'll admit, that last little line is a road trip romance that goes horribly wrong. I like those road trip movies. When you go on a trip and there's all these different bad things happening along the way, usually they're comedy movies, you know, like with starring Chevy Chase or something. National Lampoon's Vacation. Movies like that are, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Not a movie about some girl who got her neck snapped by her boyfriend a little over a year ago. So, I mean, I'm kind of iffy about this. But like I said, I'm still curious to see where they go with this movie. Of course, a lot of it will be fake stuff like filler to fill in the gaps between what we know happened. And I'm interested to see what they do with that. But let me know how you feel about this whole situation overall. Will you be watching the movie tonight? Will you tune in sometime in the future? Do you want to see me do a review? Let me know all of that down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.